So it just says yellow apples.
What's your favorite apple?
I mean,
Probably
I like
Honey Crisp, dude.
Honey Crisp. Yeah, you can't really beat the Honey Crisp. There's people that don't like them, but I don't believe them
Those
when they say
people
that.
that they don't exist.
Well,
Some people. I bet there's.
I think
there's
it's
one
just
person that exists that doesn't like a Honey Crisp
but
apple.
here's the thing: they're probably one of those hipster dudes that are like,
haters.
"Oh, I don't like Honey Crisp."
Oh no, it's me.
Genetically modified apples.
I only
no
like
thanks.
apples straight from the source.
And Honey Crisp aren't.
Yeah,
I'll tell
Honey
you.
Crisp aren't apples. Did you know Honey Crisp aren't apples? They're really tomatoes. Like, shut up, Luther.
Red Delicious.
That guy's name is Luther.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Hey, Luther.
What if is there anybody named Luther? These
Luther
days?
Vandross.
Well, yeah,
But he's
I
dead.
know it. No,
Is he not dead? I thought he died.
R&B singers do typically turn up dead early in life for some reason.
I don't want to wake up dead.
Yeah, I can wake up dead.
I think about that pretty frequently, actually.
How you going to
Waking up
turn up
dead?
missing?
Yeah, waking up dead and just being like, "Oh no, I'm dead,"
Well, that's
and then
I mean,
just like looking down at your body, being like,
I'm
"You
so
really screwed
fat.
up. You're probably wondering how I got here."
I don't want to get existential, but like, do you think that when you wake up dead, do you think you're like, I'm dead, and then you just go on? Like,
I'd say you
I'd be
probably
like,
have a.
oh man, it happened again.
I'd say you probably have like a sinking feeling in your stomach, but you don't have a stomach, so I don't know exactly. But that would be the feeling that you have in the afterlife, looking at yourself.
The sinking would be me going to hell. That would be the only sinking that's going to happen when I
You can't
die.
say
but-
that on the radio.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be me. That would be you.
Yeah.
You're the one going to HE double hockey sticks. I'm the one that's stuck in limbo. Like, I'm in that big white void that's like, hey.
Ooh,
And I'm like, oh.
cursed to haunt the world. You're going to haunt this radio station.
I wouldn't come back here unless you guys were still here.
Just
I
like
wondered about that. I'm
just
like,
playing
how
different
hard is it to
songs.
find your friends in the afterlife?
You got to go. Well, like, how much time passes? That's what I wonder.
Yeah.
Like, in Ghost, it was like instantaneous. Like, dude dies and then he's all of a sudden in the, like just around his friends. If you've ever seen that 1988 movie Ghost,
my sister loves that movie.
most women do love the movie Ghost.
Dude, that is funny to be like, I want to make love to a ghost.
Yeah, I mean,
that happened in what's that movie? Scary Movie, where I wouldn't call it the act of making love.
yeah,
It was
I
more
know which
like
one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about.
wild, crazy.
Kids.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Actual scary movies or like
No,
Scary
like,
Movie 1, 2,
Scary
3, or
Movie
4?
1, 2, 3, or 4.
I like Scary Movie 3 quite a bit.
I think that's my
with
favorite.
Charlie Sheen.
Yep. That one's really funny.
They make fun of
Abe
What-
Lincoln.
they don't make fun of Abe Lincoln in that one. What's the one with where the aliens came to Earth?
World of Worlds.
Signs.
Oh,
they make fun of
Signs.
Signs in that one. Because Simon Rex is in that one. And he
Simon
Mhm.
Rex. Isn't he MC?
he's
Dirt Nasty.
Dirt Nasty,
Yeah. That's it.
he's got a gold chain.
He does.
I don't think I have I can't individualize the scary movies. Like a couple scenes, like the Chris Elliott when he's like, "Let me serve the mashed potatoes with my good hand." or
Yeah.
whatever.
That's
like,
2.
But what's weird is like, would you be able to get away with that today in comedy if you had somebody with a impaired arm like that? Would you be able to make fun of them?
Well, we're going to try.
We're gonna make a new movie with the, but then
That's
I
the
think
whole basis is just...
just a guy with an arm.
No, the scary thing is wondering if you're canceled. This is going to be a scary movie. We just say the N-word a lot. What's so scary about that movie? Dude, the directors are crapping their britches.
They're already in. Dang, I was gonna say fatigues, but what do you wear in prison? What do you wear? What are those clothes called?
Prison clothes.
Prison attire.
Prison attire.
Jumpsuit.
Pantsuit.
Hillary Clinton's in jail. So that's why they wanted her to go to jails, because she had a phenomenal bright orange pantsuit.
Jail attire just says prison uniform.
Prison
There's
uniform?
no way it's just called that. I'm pretty sure it's a prison jumpsuit.
I've never been to.
Well, it depends on which. Like some places they have the sweats, like.
I
and
don't
then some
know.
places make you
That
wear
is
the
true.
actual.
Some places wear like attire that you'd wear drawing someone's blood.
You got to wear a napkin that's facing backwards and your butt's just open.
I think it's also a
I meant
security
like the
prison.
doctors and nurses, but that'd be much funnier if that's what they had all prison attire wearing. It'd be a lot easier for them to do some things. They wouldn't even have to drop the soap.
You guys ever seen the show Oz? Anybody? That's a good show if you like.
That show's intense.
A prison
It's
soap
not
opera.
intense. It's in a jail.
Nice. It's not intense. It's in prison.
That was a solid joke. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yep.
You know the guy who's the main character in the wheelchair?
Is the movie called The Wheelchair,
yeah.
or is the guy in the
Augustus
wheelchair?
Hill.
I don't remember his name. I haven't
Yeah.
watched the show in eons, but I met that guy.
Nice.
And then when I said to him, he's in the show Lost, and he was filming Lost when I met him, and I looked at him, and then I said to him, "Were you in that show Oz?" And then he was like, his eyes got real wide, and he was like, "Yeah, most people recognize me from Lost." And I was like, "No, you're in a wheelchair, right?" And then he was like, "Yeah." And that was that.
Yeah,
That was our conversation.
he's like the framing device.
Yeah.
He's like
The narrator.
yeah, he does a really good job at that.
A framing device. I was going to say, that's a mean name to call someone in a wheelchair. I don't know any context that would be behind that, but
He's got square wheels.
Can I please get some regular wheels? I know this is prison, but you don't got to give me square wheels. I can't move. His upper body strength is phenomenal.
Not on like one's on the corner and the other one's on the flat thing, so he just like rocks back and forth.
I was just thinking that he pulls up both at one time and jumps like Geo dude.
But like, okay, I'm picturing what you're describing, and for whatever reason, and I don't know if my imagination incorporates physics into it, but like when you do it like that, do you think you actually move forward, or do you just lift yourself up? You're just like boom, like dang it! I wanted the forward motion.
I think you got to get a lean in there for sure.
Someone pushes you, it's
Also-
just scraping and like sparks.
Like actually, what was the character's name?
Augustus Hill.
Hey, actually, Augustus, you don't have square wheels. You have tracks. You just have to push this lever forward. It's like, oh my god! And he, like snaps the thing forward because his upper body strength is just ridiculous from lifting the tracks up and over themselves.
His name is Augustus Hill because that's what they wanted to push him down.
Yeah, I mean that happens a couple times in that show. People get pushed and shoved and shanked.
Is that the show
and-
that the guy got? I think I stopped watching the show because it came out when I was kind of young, and I remember having HBO and watching the show.
Mhm.
Is that the one where the dude gets? There's a guy and he gets like a message carved into his chest with a razor blade.
Yeah, that happens.
Quite often.
Happens a couple times. Yeah.
Really?
Ah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's
quite
why
the
I stopped
message.
watching. Yeah. The
Wonder-
message is take a shower.
They must shave his chest before that because else it get lost in the body hair.
The
then do they gotta
supremacist in
wipe
the
off
show
the
shaving
blood?
his chest.
They shave his chest before he goes into the razor.
They take him to the prison barber, who's like just a gay dude, and he's just like, hey, just like dude doing his thing, you know what I mean? Talking about the day and like what Alex has been doing and like all kinds of stuff, and then and then he sends him on his way, and he's like, thanks, about to go get a message carved in my chest.
I like the idea of a prison barber or someone in classical music playing, and he's just like shaving a guy's chest. It's just like a really elegant, and then after that they carve a message into his chest. You're like, oh, what was that about? That was way too nice of an intro to that act of violence.
Dude, it is funny when you go to the hospital and they have to like put nodes or whatever on you. Because I had to get some tests on my heart or whatever one time. I went in there and they're like, okay, we got to put these nodes on you. They're like, well, you got a hairy chest. And they didn't shave it like across neatly or anything. They just shaved like little blotches where they put it on. So I got home and I'm like, well, this is gonna be a mess.
You're like, thanks, Dr.
Van Housen. I don't know.
Dr. Osh.
Hey, can you at least finish it up or give me like a little fade or something?
Exactly. Yeah, because it was just straight razor, just
faded chest hair. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that bald fade right there. Can you carve a little?
Hey, can you line me up, Doc, please?
Hey, I know last time you went to
a great skit, dude. Can you line me up and you just pull your pants down?
last time you went a little higher on one nipple, so
can you
Doc, I look like a freak now.
I took off my shirt and the kids made fun of me at the pool. I wasn't taking off my shirt around kids. I don't know.
Ultimate Warrior, Blaise's poorly shaved chest versus black teens at a pool.
Oh man, dude, I would cry until I showed them a magic trick and then they all got amazed.
Like, where'd that card go?
I don't know. I don't care who you are. You versus a group of black teens, you're not gonna win.
No, never. Unless you do a magic trick. If you ever watch, just
I'm so glad you said that. Well, that even sounds. Unless you do a magic trick, like I'm glad you weren't like. Insert something racist.
Yeah.
Unless you, I don't know.
Look, black guys
police.
love
yeah. Then it's the opposite way around. Might get schooled.
You ever see those videos of police officers playing basketball against some kids or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, then the guys are always like, oh, I suck at basketball, and these inner city kids beat me in basketball. Like, yeah.
Then every once in a while you have like the professor somehow is a cop now.
And he drains threes, and you're just like, what?
Whips it off the backboard and spins around, bounces off their head, and dunks it over them.
That cop is Christian Leitner. What's going on with
full
that?
contact with teenagers just like shoving them.
Dude, there's also some cops doing skateboard tricks is actually a hole I go down every once in a while when I see it, because that's even cooler than watching them play basketball.
Blaise's search history: cops doing kick flips.
But then, do they take their gun belts off? Like if they slip and fall,
they don't. Then
land on their gun belt. Boom.
No, they're not. They're not sending that gun down.
No, they shoot the skateboarders and take the skateboard then.
That'd be awesome.
And then they do a kickflip and drive off. Like,
they steal a kid.
Hey, is that skateboard signed by Tony Hawk? Yeah, mister, it is. Pop, pop, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Sucker.
You can get this in the evidence locker. You see the evidence locker is just decked out skateboards.
Oh, my God. That's a 93 Santa Cruz.
Is that a Hammerhead a soy?
Dude, Bam Margera's signature board.
Rest in peace. Did Bam Margera die?
No, he's still kicking.
He's like actually working on getting sober now. He was wild.
It's too late, Bam Margera. Nobody cares. I mean, I guess I don't care.
Oh, he's on a comeback, man.
Maybe I'm mad at Bam Margera or something.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you have against Bam Margera?
Well, I think it was just a piece of S for so long that it was just like, dude, whatever.
Because he was like getting in. He was just lost in the woods for a while. Bam Margera's in the woods. He's like the naked, greased down guy in Family Guy.
Imagine you're with a friend and you're like at the park and he just starts walking towards the woods and you're like, where is he going? And you don't see him for like 3 days. You're like, I guess I could have stopped him.
You're like, is that someone from Twilight? Like, no, that's Bam Margera. Nobody from Twilight is that big now.
I think if I saw my friend walking into the woods, unless it was you guys or anybody else I really knew, I wouldn't stop them from walking into the woods. I'd just be like, where are you going? And if they didn't answer, all right, then.
I think seeing someone slowly walk into the woods might be one of the scariest things.
You're just like hanging with your friends, also you're just like seeing them beeline.
If I saw someone just like walk into the woods, like,
well, it depends on like,
I'd be like, what? They'd be wearing black. No one walks in the woods wearing anything but all black.
Right? Shoot. Well, I mean, okay. I think it would all depend on the way in which they left that scene. Like, this is where we used to play tennis. We played tennis, and then, like, I'm not even kidding, like 30 yards back was woods for miles.
Yeah.
So, like, if we were playing tennis and they just, like, stopped, got a serious look on their face, like no action, no nothing, set the racket down, turned around and started walking into the woods, I'm not stopping them. But if they were like, hey, what's going on in the woods? Then I'd be like, I don't know. Let's go check it out.
Yeah,
And
but
then
that would be
we'd
a
both
that would be
in
a
the woods.
that would be like a fun like skip to the woods, I think.
I like the idea of
We would hold hands.
your friend got,
Yeah. Let's go to the woods. You just run into a tree.
your friend got lost in the woods for 3 days, and every time you go to the park, you have to stop him from walking back into the woods. You're like, "Where are you going, bud?" It's like, "Oh, I'm just going for a walk in the woods." No, come back here.
Remember what happened last time? And he's like, yeah, I detoxed my body and I lost 13 pounds.
I rode a deer.
Going in the woods last time was the best thing that could have happened.
I rode a grizzly bear. All right, I'm going back.
Picture it didn't happen.
Look,
well, I'll tell you
in-
what, the grizzly bear didn't have a phone, okay?
Then
In real life, I'm a loser. In the woods, I'm king. All right.
we see Dave walks into the woods, just all these like rabbits and birds flying.
He
He's
just
just
turns
holding
around and gives
court.
us a nice, see you later.
See you guys in about 3 days.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my friends now.
I thought we were your friends.
Bambi, what happened to your mom?
David shot her. do you
Then
go in
they
the
all
woods with a gun?
No,
no, dude. He goes in with a flute.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm like the Pied Piper,
Yeah,
except for all the woodland creatures.
or like that kid in Zelda that plays the flute and has got done
Link?
playing Zelda.
Doesn't Link play the flute? Doesn't he get a flute? And
He
like,
does get a flute, but
open
he
doors and
he
stuff?
gets a flute in the Super Nintendo one. He gets a flute from this kid in the Dark World, who actually turns into a tree.
Are you talking about BET or?
Black Entertainment.
Oh,
They don't have Zelda
I thought you
on
said
BET.
the Dark World, so I didn't know exactly what you
Oh
meant
no,
by that.
no! I was also wondering where you're going. There.
No, but Zelda is a
The
is a
Dark
sick
World.
game.
BET. Travis Smiley. Oh, dude! Shout out to not Bryant Gumbel, Greg Gumbel.
Brian
Oh,
Gumble just
the Gumbles.
died.
Greg Gumbel just died. Bryant Gumbel's still with us.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's Bryant is still
Yeah, it's
alive.
Bryant. Bryant Gumbel.
B-R-Y-N-T. Which Gumbel recently passed away, and then like just fresh news this morning. Brian
It was
dies
Greg
too.
Gumble.
Yep.
Greg Gumbel. See, he
What
has a
what
good
a
ring.
name.
Yeah, he has a good ring to his name, Greg Gumbel.
Brian Gumbel was like, okay, but the way they're celebrating Greg Gumbel, I always thought that Greg Gumbel came second,
Yeah.
but
Greg Gumbel never comes second. All right.
Just
Dude,
ask
wait.
is
Brian Gumble was born 1948.
what about Greg
Greg
Gumbel?
Gumbel, 1946.
Okay,
Closer than I thought, though.
that is closer than I thought. But I always thought, like in broadcast history, that Bryant Gumbel was like the only Gumbel, and then all of a sudden his brother was like, you know what? I'm going to do that too.
Gumble to Gumble.
Gumble to Gumble. There was like a show on ESPN, Gumble to Gumble. I think they were on CBS.
CBS. My channel, my TV is my TV is set to channel 6. And so anytime, and like nothing else really comes in that well, so I just only watch ABC or like the.
Do you only have a antenna receiver?
Yeah.
We got to go hooked up to the internet, dude.
Well, I mean, I have like all the streaming stuff.
Sure. Don't try to sound cool.
Well,
man.
actually,
You're
now
like
my
the
TV.
only channel that comes in is ABC.
you got to change the old antenna position.
Oh, I usually do, but I'm also I don't watch that much like actual television. It's more so just streaming.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. When you say you don't watch television, are you still watching television while it's streaming?
Well,
Because it is a television.
I don't. What do you call broadcast television? Is that what we want to say?
Well, is streaming still broadcasting?
No, broadcast.
You're not. I wouldn't say you're watching TV because that's like if you put on a movie, even though you watch it on TV.
The
I'd say I'm
television?
watching a movie. I don't say I'm
Yeah.
watching TV.
Yeah, but I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying it's
You
it's
say-
like one of those Kleenex
actually
situations.
now it's one of those things where where you sound like an old person, but it's the correct thing to say, where you say, I'm watching a program.
Yeah. There you go.
And that's actually me just reading programs from the plays that I've been to.
Oh, Blaise.
I'm watching my programs.
I'm watching my. One time I went to visit my friend at about 1:15, maybe it was 2:15. I'm not sure, but his girlfriend answered the door, and I said, "Hey, what's up?" And then she said, "I'm surprised you came over right now." And I was like, "Why? I'm in town." And then he was like, or she said, "Well, he's watching his stories." And I was like, "What did you just say to me?"
What does that mean?
Watching soap operas.
Shut up.
I swear to God, he was watching. My friend, was watching soap operas, and I was like,
Days of Our Lives or what?
"Yeah, like One Life to Live, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Young and Restless, that kind of." I don't know.
He must work at night.
No, soap operas are.
No, I think maybe it was. Well, he said he got hooked on watching the shows when he had. It wasn't appendicitis. I don't know. He had to go to the hospital for like 3 days in a row, and the only thing on TV was. The only thing on the television for programming during the day was
The only stories were.
his stories. So he watched his stories, and I was like, "What?" But he was in the hospital 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So like,
Get hooked on The Price is Right like a regular person.
yeah, right. Like, oh my gosh, my aunt was on The Price is Right one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Was her price right?
No, she was. It was an adoption situation. She was a tiny Korean woman, tiny, and she could not spin the whole wheel around.
She made it to the wheel?
Oh yeah, yeah. She made like the only thing she didn't make it all the way to the last two contestants or whatever that were.
Yeah.
Whatever, but she was on the wheel. She couldn't spin it all the way around.
She just jumps up and grabs it.
Who
That's
was
pretty much
hosting?
what she grabbed it and was like, bleep, 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 bleep.
Did you ever see a picture of the back of the wheel that you don't see?
It's all like wood in it.
Yeah, it looks sad.
Yeah.
Who was hosting when she was on?
Not Drew Carey.
No, it was the dude
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. Looks like
Nice.
the price was wrong.
Bob.
Nice. I think you could say that on the radio. I'm not going to try it, but I think you can.
Nah.
What can you say?
You could say. Just kidding.
What do you
This
what,
is-
say?
Yeah, say it again. This is the part of the show where we go through every word that we can't say.
Yeah, let's start listing them off.
Yeah.
What?
I'll write them down. You read them.
Reading Rainbow.
36 things you can't say on radio.
Number 1.
LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton.
Whoa!
You can say LeVar Burton on the radio. Oh, I'm sorry. What I meant to say was
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Odom.
That's what I was actually thinking of. Oh, dumb.
Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson. Ooh.
Are you guys?
Lamar Jackson is the quarterback for the Ravens.
Like currently,
Yeah.
the Ravens, they're still a team.
Dude, Lamar Jackson.
Wait, Baltimore's still a city?
Are you serious?
Baltimore's still alive.
Are you serious right now? You didn't know Lamar Jackson's?
I did not know
Dude,
Lamar
he's like
Jackson.
up for MVP.
Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league currently.
I'll tell you what. I don't watch enough football
He's
to
like
know.
he's like modern day Michael Vick.
Oh no!
So he's got a bunch of dogs in his basement,
Yeah, yeah.
which is fine. I mean, if you're taking care of them,
Wouldn't
I
it be
guess.
funny if like Michael Vick actually just had a bunch of his friends fighting in his basement? He's like, "Those are my dogs."
what the news didn't
Michael
tell you
Vick's
is
Fight
those
Club.
dogs were poodles. So it was actually kind of cute.
And they had switchblades. And they didn't really fight. They got into like a political discussion. They were sitting at tables drinking tea. Like, I think the current economic status of China is built on. And then
Yeah, no, he was actually just filming Crossfire with dogs downstairs.
he had big things with marbles. And he was firing poodles and
I meant
everything.
like
They
the
had to
news
bump
program,
into
but
each other.
that is funnier. Crossfire.
Yes, the old. Well, is it still on Crossfire?
I believe so, but I don't know.
Geez, the show with the two people like different opinions, and then they just talk to each other.
Yeah, it sounds
fun
like
show.
Sounds like debate in high school.
Oh, it got done in 2005.
Dang.
It was heated.
Yeah.
Crossfire is like Hungry Hungry Hippos for adults.
Give me those marbles.
How did the game Crossfire go? Like the actual board game?
The game Crossfire
You
was
actually
the two,
had like marbles.
They were all in a little container, and then you had to like shoot the marbles across. But they weren't marbles; they were like spinny deals. And there was a marble, then there was a spinny deal on top of it, and you would shoot that out, and then whack. You'd try to smack yours into the other.
Yeah.
So that yours was on the board the longest or whatever.
Because they kind of made a new one of that and revamped it.
Did you guys ever
With
play
Ninja
Beyblades?
Stars?
Beyblades. That's what I was thinking of. Crossfire is kind of like Beyblades, I think, came from Crossfire.
Okay. Yeah, Beyblades were cool. There was also a toy when I was a kid that was like, it was like a wheel and like a ripper, and like it would go flying. But then like I realized, I was like, this is a dumb toy because now I just have to go get it. Like you'd rip it as hard as you could, and then it would be like down the block, and you're like, oh, now I have to walk.
What was that for?
It was like a toy.
It
Where
was for
like,
exercise.
No, it was
for
just
dogs.
Like, it was just like a wheel, and then like
oh yes,
and you like ripped it, like a ripcord, and then you it would go flying, and like people would do it on like ramps and stuff. But yeah, generally you just have like if you do it too hard, you have to go like find it down the block.
Yeah.
And that was annoying.
My parents I never got like new toys and stuff like that. Like it was always hand-me-downs, and it'd be like sweet if I finally got a new one. My parents went to, I don't know, Denver, Minneapolis or something, came back with this helicopter that like you could do a ripcord and it would fly up, and it was sweet army one. And I wanted to play with it so bad, and I'm like telling my dad, I'm like, I want to do it. And my dad's like, I'm going to do it first. And we're in the backyard. I'm like, don't do it in the backyard. It's going to hit the tree. He's like, it's not going to hit the tree.
Guess what?
He does it first time, flies straight, smokes the tree, breaks the propeller off. I never got to play with it. He's like, I'll fix it.
Never fixed it.
Well, he tried to fix it. He's like, pretty handy man. Like, put like a bolt in between there and then like glue. But then I went and I'm like, finally I'll get to play with it. It's fixed. And pulled it. The wing just flew off. Like I never got to. That was like the one thing.
That's brutal.
The one
dude.
time my parents come home with a toy that I was so stoked.
That's so brutal, dude.
That is.
I'd still think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I would too, dude.
Childhood
like-
trauma like that. You're not gonna live that down. You're not.
No,
gonna,
I just sat in the back with my bowl cut and cried in the bathroom.
That was a pivotal point in your childhood.
I'm gonna shave my head.
Oh man,
I don't want a bowl cut anymore, Dad.
dude. That's like it just kind of reminds me of like when the kid has an ice cream cone and it like falls off. You're just like the defeat in their face. You're like, oh man, like that kid is. I don't know. I just have empathy for it.
Dude, that's my favorite thing when that happens, because truly when you see people grab it and then just stick it back on and wipe off the dirt, that was like my childhood. My parents would just do that and I'd be completely fine with it.
That's great.
Only you'd sit there and just like cry with your head back for a while and then you lick the ice cream again. You're like, there's a little dirt on it, but it's okay.
Licking gravel, chewing it.
Just pretend it's Oreos, Blaise.
It's a mix.
I am, and your teeth are all bleeding. It's like it wasn't gravel; it was rocks.
Yeah,
Pretend it's Cold Stone. It's a mixin'.
Yeah. They're like, did you have raspberry dressing in that too? It's like, no, that's the blood from the rocks.
That's blood on the.
I can't stop eating it. It tastes so good.
Oh, that's so funny. We're so good at pretending to be children crying. Like,
It's probably my best impression, which is sad.
Hyperventilating.
oh man, that's how they do. Like,
It is funny, dude. Kids crying can't breathe at the same time.
Yeah.
When,
they haven't figured out
when-
circular breathing.
yeah,
yet.
when do you learn to breathe and cry at the same time?
Yeah. What was your guys' favorite ice cream as a youngster?
Oreo.
Oreo.
I mean, are we doing mix-in stuff? Or
No,
are we
we're just
doing-
talking straight flavor, just straight strain.
Man, I think it's so hard to pinpoint, like, because it's so like.
I mean, if we're doing straight flavor, you only really have like chocolate.
well, okay, well,
No. He's talking about like you go to Baskin Robbins, they got 31 flavors, and one of them is
Okay,
like
okay.
Superman.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right?
That
Yeah.
makes sense. I wasn't sure if you were talking about like initial base flavor, but I think Oreo was always.
okay. How about you? You said you can't pinpoint it.
I can't. Well, like at different stages throughout life, there was a time where I was big into butter pecan. There was a time where I was big into like Superman ice cream, bubblegum. Bubblegum wasn't it didn't last very long. It's definitely like a children's flavor, but
I used to love cherry ice cream that had like the Marciano cherries or whatever you call them.
Oh, yep.
yeah.
Those were really
Rocky
good.
Marciano cherries.
But now, now I'm like a vanilla loyalist again. Like
Vanilla bean.
as
Ooh,
an
vanilla
adult,
bean, good one.
as an adult, like vanilla just does it for me. You know,
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you're like, oh, vanilla. That's so vanilla. You know, and then you're like, oh no, I like my plain Jane ice cream.
Yeah, dude. It
Moose
rules.
tracks,
Yeah, moose tracks,
bear
they can rip.
tracks.
Yeah.
They can rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Vanilla is something that you grow up and you're like, people say that this is too normal, but I like it quite a bit.
Vanilla wafers. I used to hate those as a kid. Now, if you give me a box of vanilla wafers, I'm pounding that thing like
I think they're just called Nilla wafers.
Nilla
Yeah.
wafers. Yeah, you're right. They're Nilla wafers.
Yeah.
Vanilla was trademarked then. No one could use the word vanilla
Yeah.
without
go to
paying
the-
big vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. If you go to the store to buy imitation vanilla, it's like $1 cheaper than real Madagascar vanilla. Like you might as well just buy real vanilla.
Dude, that's like I don't know. I probably should have put this together, but when people are like, you're just vanilla when it comes to terms of like other things, you grow up, you're like, that's actually kind of nice.
That's
You're
that's
like-
the ground floor,
yeah,
man.
you're like, you
I-
make fun of missionary and you grow up just still like it and like vanilla
yeah.
flavoring. This is like looking the ice cream in the eyes.
Yeah, sometimes when things get a little too intense.
I wanted to go off on a tangent. Like, well, it is pretty much the best. I mean, you get the best connection. You're like face to face. It's like, yeah, the reason you're doing it. But if you're in it for fun, then yeah, you want some.
Yeah, then you want to
I was
add
about
some
say
sprinkles.
chocolate
Yeah.
sprinkles, but I was like, you don't want to add chocolate sprinkles.
I like chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't
Kelly.
like when someone else is eating my ice cream.
I like to sit in the corner and watch somebody else eat my
I think my toxic masculinity is I don't want to be seen at an ice cream place or eating ice cream in public. I don't know why. It's just something
You
about.
think that people are watching you lick that cone?
I feel so vulnerable. Like I'm just standing downtown. Like in my
Well, you
ice cream
are
cone.
vulnerable. Like if you have an ice cream cone and somebody, like so many people could do so many things to you. With, like if they mess up your ice cream cone, like that's gonna ruin your day.
I feel like I have an ice cream cone. Someone with a leather jacket is going to drive by and slap it out of my
That's what
hand.
I'm saying. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
And there's like nothing you can do. Like you're just like like I feel like you don't even want to fight. You just want to like be defeated. Like
You're like, that's what I'm saying. I'm just afraid a bully is gonna come.
I'll tell you what,
A
Dave.
teen bully.
Every time he's 13 and he
Teen
comes in.
bully comes up and I'm like, Robert,
No, this is my ice cream. I paid with it with my money.
My own money that I got from mowing lawns.
you've been doing this for 7 years. He started picking on me when he was 6.
All right, MTV show, not teen pregnancy, teen bully. 13-year-old Malcolm walks around and he just knocks ice cream out of people's hands. Actually, can I tell you about I've never really had a bullying that I can remember. Except for I have a bike. It's famous. Everybody knows that
I have a bike.
I have a bike. Just ask anybody. I'm riding my bike as I often do, not in the winter, but it's summertime. And I'm downtown and I stop at a red light right by the comedy club. I'm at Broadway in Maine. I stop at a red light and there's 3 kids across the street on bicycles. One of them he like starts to pedal, pulls up the front wheel, does a catwalk or a wheelie, whatever you call it, and he just catwalks across the whole intersection. And the kid's like 13, 14 maybe. And he's like riding his bike past me with his wheel turned sideways, looking at me, and he's like, "You stopped for red lights?" And then he called me the P word and just kept going. And I was like, the only thing that could have been worse in that situation is if I was wearing a helmet.
Dude, yeah, if you were wearing a helmet.
Dude, that
elbow
intersection.
pads.
Yeah, I was like,
It's like fatality.
dude, I almost died right
That
there.
intersection of Broadway and Main is dangerous, dude. Like I've been yelled at so many times on that corner.
Like, you know what's cool? Not dying.
There's nothing you can say
one
to those
time-
kids that would have been like,
One time I was standing on that corner and this car pulls up full of, again, teens. And the teen yells at me. He's like, it's like, "Nice pants, loser." And I'm like, that wasn't even good. Like, they are nice pants. What do you?
But you did go home and change it.
I gotta go home.
"Hey, Dave, the mic's about to start." "Yeah, I'll be back in about 20
Yeah, a
minutes.
group of teens made fun of my pants, so I have to go home real quick.
What? Those are nice pants, dude. I know. But they might show up here later, so I can't be wearing the same pants. They can't get into this place. It's 21 and up. And how they must have been legal age to drive.
Well, yeah.
16-year-old teens.
Yeah, like, well, one of them was at least. All I really saw was the driver who was a kid, and then the kid that yelled at me, "Nice pants." I'm like, hey, if you're gonna cook me, at least do it well done,
Yeah,
Like,
none of this medium rare nice pants. Like anybody could say nice pants. Like,
Yeah.
point out a flaw to the pants.
yeah.
Dude, the other day, speaking of teens,
Speaking of teens,
Yeah, as we often do.
dude, there's this kid the other day that like someone said something about me doing comedy. He's like, "Oh, you're a comedian?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "So how's that going?" And I was like, "Actually, pretty good. I just opened for Jeff Dye." He goes, "Yeah, my dad listens to him." And I was like, "God, you got me."
you know
I
what?
was like,
kid?
"Why is this
Screw you."
I was like, "Why is this 16-year-old kid bugging me?"
I'm an adult. I'm drinking age. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
are
guess-
you?
I do this legally.
Yeah.
Do you want another one?
I'm going to drink so much that I think it's a good idea to punch you. Give me about 20 minutes.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm
remember?
about to say.
There's a guy we know that almost got in a fight with a 16-year-old.
Almost got beat up by a 16-year-old.
Almost got beat up by his dad.
Oh, no.
He was gonna fight a kid, and the dad came up and sucker punched him.
Yeah.
He's like, "I can't believe that he did that. That kid needs to fight his own battles." And we're like,
he was going through a bad time at the time, but he was talking to us. He's like, "Yeah, I was just going around neighbors asking for money." Or something like that. He goes, "This one kid told me to get off the porch." He's like, "This 16-year-old kid." He goes, "So I hit him." And then his dad sucker punched me. And we're like, "Wait, it's a 16-year-old." We're like, "You're 32."
he's like, "Yeah, the dad punched you, dude."
What you did was assault, and you could go to jail.
Yeah.
On a minor, even.
You should be happy that the dad stopped that.
Yeah, dude, it was actually one of the funniest things too is him trying to justify that. It was like, yeah, like Dave said, the guy goes, "Yeah, fight your own battles. You need to get your dad." We're like, "You're literally twice his age."
Oh, man.
It was in a trailer park.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, this wasn't in Rose Creek, all right.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, this wasn't in a classy neighborhood. This was...
Oh yeah, because the reason that he told us is because he had a black eye. We're like, "What happened to you?" He's like, "This kid's dad sucker."
And we're like, "All right, rewind. You gotta tell more of the story here." It's like, "Yeah, I was going around asking for money, and this kid was making fun of me, telling me to go away." And then I started it with
He also wasn't asking for money for like a good cause. He was just asking money for himself.
It's like, "Hey, I only have $17. Is there any way you
Which
can
is like,
give me
I don't know. I mean, like, at that point, go make a sign and sit on the street somewhere. Don't go to your neighbors that you don't know. He recently moved in there, too.
I got security called on me once by a kid's dad at a concert because we were right behind. So it actually was a sad story for the kid. We're
Both
watching.
these are stemming from not good.
Well, the dad went to the concert with the kid. It wasn't Green Day. I don't know. It was like a '90s band. But I feel like there was like two bands. Anyway, we were watching the show, but this kid was like 13, 14 maybe, and he's like shorter than everybody else. He can't see the show. I felt real bad for him, but my friend's like, "Hey," and he pulls out a dubious cigarette, and I was just like, "Oh, hi." And then we go for that, and the dad turns around like after one or two pulls, and he's just like, "Can you not do that?" And then we just looked at each other and looked at him, and we were like, yeah, no. And then he was like, "If you don't stop, I'm going to call security." And the kid who was in front of us was just like, "Oh my God, Dad." Like you could tell he was like, "Dad, shut up."
Yeah.
"Dad, shut up. Shut up, Dad." And then like we both looked at him and looked at the dad. And like I said, that kid was the youngest one there. And the whole place was like reeked like it.
Yeah.
And we just didn't stop. So the guy was like, "Okay." And then he like left for a couple minutes and he came back with the security guard and was like, "These two right here." And we just looked at him and we were done. You know what I mean? It was gone.
Yeah.
Like we were just like, "What?" And then he was like, "They were smoking." And then the security guard like looked at us and looked at the kid who was like on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he just was like, "Sorry, man. Yeah, a lot of people in here are doing it. Sorry about that." And then he just left, the security guard. And you could tell the dad was like, like he was just furious, you know. And I was just like, I don't know what you want from us.
He tries to put a spell, and he was like,
Sim Sim Salabin.
Is that Johnny Quest?
Yes, it is.
"Oh wow, nice pull."
I was like, how did I remember that? That's funny.
Haji.
But yeah, Haji.
Haji, what a good name.
I got Haji a couple times when I was a kid.
They updated Johnny Quest though, right? Like there's a newer.
I think they made a newer one.
'Cause
But
they get rid of Haji?
I also think the newer one was still like 10 years ago.
Yeah. I don't think it's new now, but like I guess my point was like, I feel like kids wouldn't know to call you Haji because the show is way older.
It was
you know
on.
what I mean?
Johnny
actually
Quest was
called-
on.
It was on like a
Nick at Night.
yeah. They had like the time where like on Cartoon Network it would play the old cartoons.
Yeah.
For a while, and then they actually had the new adventures of Johnny Quest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because the original ones were like 60s.
Yeah, and they'd be like, I'm trying to think of something like super racist, like, oh my God.
I can help you with that.
You know what my least at my work, we deal with a lot of different people, and there's like 3 or 4 people at my work that still, they'll be like, yeah, they came in, was a nice Indian couple, and then they'll be like, "Dot, not feather." And I'm just like, oh my God, dude. I could tell because you said their name was like Pardeep Patel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know what the hell, like, what are you telling me? You know, like, I know which, you don't have to say that.
Yeah, that's rude.
One time in high school,
Rudimentary.
there's an influx of like Nepali immigrants that came into Fargo when I was in high school, and the teacher pulls me aside and she like brings up this like tiny Nepali kid. She's like, "Can you show him around the school?" I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, you guys like speak the same language, right?" And I was like,
You're like, I am, but I was born here.
I would have like looked at the kid, made up some gibberish, and then like swore in English, and then be like, "Oh no, that's how you say restrooms," and then point at him and be
This
like,
is what you gotta say
blah, blah, blah.
when you need to go to the bathroom. Raise your hand.
just raise your middle finger.
Dude, the mad scientist in Johnny Quest was called Dr. Zinn.
Dude,
that's coming back.
decky?
Then they're all going to start being like, Dr. Zinn's going to get you. Dude, some people put in Zins. This one guy that I know ordered like the equivalent of Zins from, I don't know, Japan or something. And they're
let's be real, it was from China.
I think he said Japan.
Oh,
But
probably.
he doesn't know his Asian countries. I was thinking about this on the way over here.
I think he said, no, I'm telling you. He said,
I know he said Japan.
but he said 35 milligrams of
That's
nicotine.
insane. Yeah, for a little powder. Oh,
yeah,
man,
I was like,
that's
I
a
put a
lot.
5 milligram of Zyn in, and I am off the rails. I need to spit that out like soon. Like nicotine, dude, that straight nicotine is crazy.
Yeah, and if you're not used to it too, like I don't even like Zins. Like I've been smoking for a while.
Yeah.
So
I don't do it. I don't ingest nicotine.
oh well, you know what?
I'm not.
proud
It's
of
not
you.
that I'm better than you. It's just that I don't do it.
When I was like 18, our baseball coach told us to go get him some nicotine patches so he could try to quit chewing. He actually just chewed while he had nicotine patches.
A
on
lot of
him.
people do that.
Yeah, I'm like that's insane because I'm gonna put one of these on, see what it actually does. It
You're
screws.
loopy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it screws you up. It's a lot like straight
Get
into your
dizzy.
bloodstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, people have patches on and then they start smoking cigarettes. And you're like, dude, that patch is on your neck.
2 patches on the neck, 1 on the forehead.
Smoking 3 cigarettes.
Just
That's a good line for a rap song. 2 patches on the neck, 1 on the forehead.
Actually,
3 cigs in my mouth.
3 cigs in my mouth.
I thought of a really good hook. I don't know if you guys have ever been to like the STD clinic, but I got scared one time.
Hold on a second.
So no, let me finish.
It's STI.
STI,
so
yeah.
Don't get
And,
us canceled.
When you when you go,
really?
they'll give you like 3 pills, and then like they give you a shot in the hip, just like if they just be careful and everything. And I was like, that actually sounds like a great hook. 3 pills and a shot in the hip. It's like I went to this girl's house, I got in and I dipped, then I had to take 3 pills and a shot in the hip.
Yeah.
You
But
gotta
I don't know
shorten
if
it up.
that's standard because I've gone to get tested before and I've never had that. You
just-
probably were positive.
No, actually, I was
Like,
negative.
No, they just do that just in case.
Just in case.
Dude, I went and the doctor was like, so what are your symptoms? And I was like, I don't have any, but I was just isn't this what you're supposed to do? And they pretty much made fun of me for getting
No,
tested.
literally, like I was like, I'm just being careful, and they're like,
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
no rash, no trouble with anything, no sensations, and I'm like, no.
yeah, they're like,
And yeah, they're pretty much like, okay, I guess we can test you for this. Then I'm like, that's literally what P. Diddy told me to do.
Oh,
puffy.
what?
He told me to vote and get tested. I'm just saying this was before.
True that. Oh man, that's crazy. I forgot about Rock the Vote. P. Diddy definitely told me to vote
or
too.
die.
We
Yeah,
talked
vote
about
or
the-
die.
yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that like 4 weeks ago on the show.
Well,
P.
let's
Diddy
talk
telling
about
us
it
to
again.
vote?
We talked about it with or before the voting. Oh, dude, January 6th was yesterday.
It was.
Yeah, did you get my
happy
snap?
anniversary?
That was pretty good.
That was funny. I liked my snap. I was happy with that. I recorded it twice.
Nice.
The first time I did it, I was like, well, I didn't mention like what it was about. Like I just assumed that everybody's gonna know what I'm talking about when I say today.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I better redo it.
I think
funny.
I think we should have an American tradition. On every January 6th, we all just like storm whatever business we want to. You know, just like instead, like you don't really have.
We don't
to
need to
like
choose
storm.
one.
Like you just be like, oh, I really like Dairy Queen. So then you go to the Dairy Queen and you just like go into the back and start making your food.
I think what they should say instead of just wandering around with flags, what they should do is be like, okay, free blizzard if you climb over this wall. They
Scale the Dairy Queen and you get a free.
make sure
free
you have an
cheeseburger.
American flag in one hand and bash out this window. And
Remember
climb over.
remember the guy that was wearing like the horn cap?
Yeah.
Like, that guy's a legend.
Well, and they had like.
Wearing that outfit.
Dude, and they have like that Ray Epps guy. There was the one guy who was just telling people to go in. That was like part of the big conspiracy or whatever. And they're like, you just got to have one of those guys be like, get over the wall of Dairy Queen. Put your own ingredients in the blizzard.
Somebody did try to crash into Dairy Queen in Moorhead. They crashed right into it.
On purpose?
Yeah, I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but it wasn't like I don't think it was a car accident, and it's not in the wintertime. But they definitely now they have those metal posts,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
but they didn't used to, and somebody like crashed into the building.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, I've only been to that Dairy Queen like maybe twice in my life, and it's a staple of the area or whatever. Everybody's like, you got to go to it.
You're talking about the one, like the
Eighth
OG
and Main,
one?
The OG one, yeah.
And the line
It's
is always
cheap.
so long. It is
Yeah.
cheap. Actually, when last time I was there, we got the lunch special deal, which was not even kidding. It was like $3, and it was a loose meat sandwich. I think they call it a barbecue. Is it just a sloppy Joe?
Yep.
And then a bag of chips and a drink, and it was $3.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they make their own rules.
Yeah. I'm like, why don't I just get 2 of these for lunch?
And chili dog.
I don't. Chili dogs are hard for me. I don't really.
Sucking on chili dog.
Sucking on
Outside
chili
the Dairy
dog.
Queen.
Oh, John Mellencamp.
The Coug.
Is that his nickname?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
John Cougar
Mellencamp.
Mellencamp.
The Coug.
The Coug.
It's because he goes after...
Meg Ryan. They're married. They've been
Are
married
they?
for like 40 years.
Really?
Meg Ryan does not look like. I remember, like, I think maybe one of my biggest celebrity crushes from back in the day was Meg Ryan, maybe. And
She's,
then,
Meg Ryan's married to Dennis Quaid.
well, who's Meg Ryan then? Is she?
Really? She's married to Dennis Quaid?
Who's married to Meg Ryan?
Oh, from 91 to 2001.
Okay, and then who's John Cougar Mellencamp married to? Cancer. That dude smokes like 4 packs a day.
Dude, my friends...
I think he's done smoking.
My
actually.
friends from my hometown, these twin girls,
Twins.
I like her.
and their
I like
twins, their dad is like 90 years old, and I swear the only thing keeping him alive is cigarettes. He smokes like 3 packs a day. I don't believe that they're like... I think cancer is just on case-by-case basis, where it's just like...
Yeah, I mean, there's people that don't do anything like ever, and they still get cancer. You know, like it's
John
like,
Cougar
Dude, what the
Mellencamp.
heck?
You're telling
John
me
Cougar Mellencamp, 1 second here, was married to Priscilla Esterline, Victoria Granucci, and Elaine Irwin. Definitely not Meg Ryan.
Okay, so no, I just asked Google, and Search Labs indicates that no, John Cougar Mellencamp, also known as John Mellencamp, and Meg Ryan were never married. Although they were engaged in 2018, they called it off and never tied the knot.
Yeah, nice 40 years together, Mark Way, idiot.
Did I say that? Yeah.
Fake news.
Yeah, I did.
This
Yeah,
is what Trump was
everything-
talking
listen,
about.
Yeah.
We all know that what we say on this show is factual, and Google and other such Ask Jeeves and Yelp, they do not know what we know.
We are all knowing.
John Cougar Mellencamp was married to Meg Ryan all throughout history.
Throughout all history. They're like, you know when
They got
Caesar was
together-
there and he married Meg Ryan and John Cougar Mellencamp outside the Tasty Freeze?
And all you could hear was... And you're like, whoa, somebody must be enjoying a chili dog.
Someone must be slurping down some chili dogs.
That is such a weird lyric. Sucking on chili dog.
I don't think I've
outside the
never
Tasty
sucked on
Freeze?
a chili dog.
What is it? Yeah,
Nobody's-
sucking on it.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Like,
eat it.
Yeah.
I don't even think
Just
a time that I've
someone's-
ever actually like licked it. Even I've like taken it off the top.
Yeah.
What I usually do is put it all in my mouth and eat the chili at the same time. I don't take a big bite, and then you scoop out the chili at the end.
Yep.
Preferably with your chips or fries that you got with.
Oh, gosh.
You pretty much eat
Now-
it like a sloppy Joe with a hot dog in it.
Yep. So, like, the few times that I have had chili dogs, the chili is usually, like, thick. Like, it can't be, like, runny chili.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you got to hold the chili dog and still eat, like...
You gotta get like beanless chili too.
Dude, the
Does it got to
chili,
be beanless?
Yeah, like Hormel makes beanless chili.
chili dogs at Dempsey's.
They got chili dogs up at Dempsey's?
Really? Oh yeah, of course. They do.
of course they do.
Yeah,
they do it all
sorry.
the time, every Thursday. Well, Dave
That's
and I
right.
used to go like every Thursday.
Yeah, I play
never-
bingo.
I've never had a chili,
Dude.
like, the tacos and the pizza, but never a chili
maybe
dog.
we should go this Thursday. Dude, chili dog with
They got
coleslaw on it.
Yep.
Oh,
It's bomb.
Do you like coleslaw, Markway? See, I'm
not a
knowing
coleslaw.
Knowing you, I was like, I don't think Markway likes coleslaw.
I
Oh
would
yeah, he
not.
orders stuff with no mayo on it.
Mhm.
Coleslaw doesn't necessarily always have mayonnaise in it, but there's different
I think like
variations.
the definition does.
No, because like like Asian coleslaw doesn't have mayonnaise. It will have
but American.
American slaw.
But if someone says, "Do you want coleslaw?" I don't initially think they're giving me Asian coleslaw.
Unless I'm in a Chinese restaurant, in which case they don't have coleslaw because they're like, no, that's not a real thing. You just put poppy seed dressing on cabbage.
Oh yes, poppy seed dressing.
Poppy seed. Yeah, but no, I'm not going to eat coleslaw. Like some people say.
But I think that even like poppy seed, I think the dressing also has mayo in it.
Some of those things don't have.
Same with like ranch. Isn't ranch technically mayo?
Ranch is like a lot
with ranch
mayo.
seasoning.
You guys, when I was in elementary school, my cousin, he got in a lot of trouble with the law. And
OJ Mayo.
OJ Mayo.
His
Sounds like a rapper.
His sister gave him a lemon poppy seed muffin, and he chucked it across the room. And he was like, "Are you trying to make me fail my drug test?" And that's when I found out that poppy seeds can ruin your drug test. But yeah, I was like, everyone's just like, "Why did he throw that muffin across the room?" Such a visceral reaction. But
my buddy said he took his drug test and then he failed it. And he was like, "Well, I told him that I had a poppy seed muffin," and I was like, "Yeah, but." They didn't pick up opiates. They picked up marijuana. And he's like, "Oh yeah, still."
It was a lace poppy seed muffin.
Dude, also OJ Mayo is a real person. He was like an awesome basketball player.
Dang, dude, I'm gonna get up on my sports. I never heard of OJ Mayo either.
Dude,
I feel like I have heard of him, but
he was like a dud. He was in high school. He was awesome. He was gonna be like the next LeBron. Or was he before LeBron?
He's 30. Dude, imagine your last name's Mayo and like your sibling, like he's OJ Mayo, but your sister, maybe his sister.
Sister is Creamy Mayo.
I really hope for her
Chipotle.
sake.
I was just trying to think of Mayo.
Chipotle Mayo. Tanner Mayo. Jeremiah Mayo. Corey Mayo.
Have you ever heard of their cousins, Aioli?
The Aiolis. Dude, OJ Mayo on his varsity team.
He was drafted by the Wolves, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean a pack of wolves?
Yeah, he was raised by a pack of wolves. Dude, he scored 23 points per game as a 7th grader playing on the varsity team.
That's pretty sick.
Was he already 6'4"?
Well, everyone was. This isn't North Dakota.
Me too.
Most places. Most places, like if you go to like New York, California,
okay,
anywhere, Kentucky, I don't know.
Any other spot, okay.
I'm pretty sure where they have like large populations, most basketball players are like 6'4" in high school.
Yeah, they have to be pretty much.
In North Dakota, I was like the tallest. I was like the second tallest on my team, and I'm 6'1". And the tallest was like 6'3", and that was tall.
Dude, Mott. They broke the firework record.
They did.
I saw that.
Watched some of that. That was
the
sick.
largest. Oh, yeah, dude. That was going on forever.
Well, it has to. It's the world record, dude. It can't just be like,
dude. Because Kipley had my phone because I had it live streaming. He was just walking like 3 feet behind us to the bar the whole time. Like, is that still going? He's like, yep. Yeah. It was crazy. If you go to Friends of Mott on the Facebook page, they posted the whole thing again.
Oh, that's for sick. Real?
Yeah, because it was.
Those things they're shooting him out of was crazy.
Yeah, dude, so the record was shooting the largest fireworks at the same time.
Okay.
The largest shells. So there were 16-inch shells. Dude, imagine like they were huge. They're like this big by this big.
That's like a war. It's like a mortar.
Yeah. No, it is a mortar.
Yeah.
And then the launchers that they put them out of were as big as the guys.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I saw that picture.
They look like they're green, right?
Yeah.
They kind of look like Mario pipes.
Yeah, you literally could warp to another world through those.
And then you go through one and you're like, crap, I'm in the water world.
But I think because I forget how many of those they lit off at the same time. Maybe 12 of those 16. They're like, we bought up the whole country. You can't find any more those size in the country. I'm like, how many did they buy? It was like 12. They went on forever.
It's like a journey they go on. They're on a road trip. It's like, we got to buy all the biggest shells in the country.
Husker do's, Husker don'ts.
It's like
Whistling kitty chasers.
yeah, it's actually like Dragon Ball Z. They collect all 12 of the largest.
They set him off, a big dragon comes.
I mean, I don't know the question.
Did you watch Dragon Ball Z when you were a kid?
I watched the Android series, like the only one that I watched like the full way through that I
Okay.
remember. It was like one of those things that I would come home from school because it'd be on right after school, and I'd watch a little bit of it, but not really get into it. Didn't know like the storylines. Then in college, I watched the one full saga.
Nice.
But there's a lot more.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny just because Shenron or whatever, the Earth Dragon is like the skinny long guy, and then the Namek guy is just like like a big stocky like. It's like dang, that dragon's cut, dude.
Yeah.
Dragons often
Dragon looking
lift weights.
swole.
Swole. Swole.
I say swall, dude.
Yeah, we heard you say it.
Swall.
Swall sounds like a type of bird.
A swall.
There is a bird called a swallow.
A European
That is true.
swall.
European swall. Well, in that case, we don't need to get into bird talk anymore.
Tweet tweet.
We got anything coming up here, guys? Mark Way?
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be at the Cellar in a couple weeks, and then obviously the open mic. And then we got I can't remember her name right now.
Oh, Kristen
Kristen
Toomey.
Toomey.
Kristen Toomey and Cam Lady.
Yo.
Yeah, Cam will be featuring.
Cam.
That'll be a really fun show. Those two are going to be quite the different type of comics.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna
Big
be a
old
fun
country
show.
boy, and then with Kristen Toomey. She was really good last time she was here. So if you guys want something to do this week, there will be 3 shows. First one's at 8 p.m. on Friday at the Cellar. You can get your tickets at frontstreettaproom.com.
Do it. Or
Sat-
right at the Front Street
Or
tap room.
yeah, if they're not sold out. And then Saturday there's 2 shows at 7 and 9:30. So you got 3 opportunities. It's going to be a fun shows there. Nate Rowe's hosting those, I believe.
Nathaniel Rowe.
Yep. Dave, do you got anything coming up?
Just the mics, and I'm with you in Crookston on
Yep.
the 17th.
Yep, we'll be in Crookston on January 17th. That'll be fun. Me, Nate Rowe, Dave, and Tim Jones. And James Winfield will actually be... James
Crookston.
Winland will actually be back up
Winfield.
here. Yeah.
Hey,
And then,
Crookston.
yeah, so January 17th, Crookston, Irishman's Shanty. You can call them to get tickets in advance. Just look them up on Google. I don't have their name right away. Then Fargo's Funniest will be on the 18th. And the 25th.
Oh.
People who make it to the next round, I guess for sure will be there the 18th. That's all I have for now that we really got to get going. Oh, there's also an open mic starting if you ever wanted to try comedy yourself. You can
Which
always
is
come to
fun.
the Cellar on Wednesdays. It is very fun. You can hang out with us. There's always one on...
I'm sorry. It just sounded like a promotion. You can come hang out with us.
Yeah, actually, we'll probably we'll blackball you and probably not talk to you, but...
Blackball.
Yeah, what was it? I've been saying... I said raise the house one time instead of raise the roof.
Well,
I don't
sometimes
necessarily know terms. But, yeah, no, Wednesdays open mic at 8 o'clock. Sign up to 7:30 if you ever want to try it. That's always fun. Tuesday nights at Boss's Comedy Club. Try to grow that one. And then also we're starting one up at Fort Knox.
the Knox.
On Mondays. That'd be awesome to have more people come there. Even if you don't want to try, if you want to come listen, that'd be awesome. Sign-ups at 7 for that one. And then it starts at 7:30. So...
For sure.
7:30 man.
Awesome. Well, we will see you next week. This was a fun one. Also, this was Dave Standal in studio today.
Yo.
Oh, let's do our intro. All right. Dooba-dooba-la-ba-ba-ba-dee-ka-da.
Troop. There it is.
My team go crack crack crack. David Standal.